YouTubers, and welcome to another Doctor Who action figure review. In today's review, I'm taking a look at the 8th Doctor from the Night of the Doctor 50th Anniversary Minisode, which is exclusive to Toys R Us. So this figure is part of the new 5.5-inch collector's range, and it is probably the most highly anticipated and most sought after figure out of the recent figures that we've seen. So let's begin by taking a look at the packaging. The figure comes packaged in the new window box packaging featuring the current Doctor Who logo, which seems kind of odd considering that there are also versions with the classic series logo on. Also worth noting is at the bottom there is an oddly shaped black sticker, and if you peel off that ever so slightly, you can see that it is covering up the Underground Toys logo. Now one would assume that because Underground Toys are not the UK distributor of this figure and it is character options, they've had to cover that over for legal reasons. It's a bit strange. And if we turn around to the back of the box, we can see a picture of the figure, as well as a new biography for the character, which also includes a synopsis of the episode, and it also features a quote from the Doctor. So out of the box, let's take a look at the articulation. So he has all the standard articulation of the 5-inch range. We have articulation at the head. This can turn left and right. Shoulders, which come out to the sides as well as swivel back and forth. We have articulation at the biceps, at the elbows, and articulation at the wrists. We have articulation at the waist, however this is slightly hindered by the fact that the coat is very stiff PVC, so you can't quite get to it, but you can see that there's a bit of movement there. And then when we look at the legs, the articulation at the hips move forward and out to the side. It's a T-crotch joint. We have articulation at the thighs, which do 360-degree turns. The knees pivot, as you can see. And we also have articulation at the shin. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the details. So first off, the head sculpt. So this is a brand new head sculpt for the 8th Doctor. In terms of the likeness, I think it looks sort of like Paul McGann, but I think we have an issue again, like we have had with a lot of the figures in this current range. I think the paint applications are a bit thick, and it makes the sculpt look quite soft. Now, there have been pictures released already of the sculpt without the paint applications, much like there were for the Curator figure, and in these pictures, it looks like an excellent likeness of Paul McGann, but I think here the paint applications have just let it down ever so slightly. You can see that the pink on the lips just sort of looks like it's just slapped on. It doesn't really look like his lips, and it just seems a bit flat. Other than the paint applications on the head, it is an absolutely beautiful figure. And then if we look at the hair, the sculpt is very nice. It's very curly and wavy, and you can see that it's a light brown with a dark wash over the top, which really help accentuate those curls. Moving down to the costume, you can see he has his blue neckerchief, and you can see his collar of his shirt poking out from out of his jacket. That again is just a soft PVC plastic. Moving down to the waistcoat, this has been painted in a sort of a copper colour with a dark wash over the top just to accent the buttons and the creases. This looks really good, and they've also sculpted on the Doctor's pocket watch. Again, this has been painted in a different colour. This is a sort of a gold colour, and it stands out from the rest of the waistcoat really well. So this looks really, really good, and all of the creases are very nicely done. Moving down further, you can see the belt and the belt buckle. Again, this has been highlighted with silver paint, which stands out very nicely. And then if we look at the Doctor's coat, this is all one solid green colour. It is lighter compared to the TV movie coat, but you can see there's a lot of details here. We've got all the buttons, all of the creases around the lapels and the seams, and the buttonholes on the lapels. So it has been really well sculpted. And this carries on if you look round to the arms. There's also the seams around the cuffs of his jacket. So sculpting-wise, it really is superb. If we move down to the trousers, this, again, very well sculpted, lots of creases. You can see it looks like fabric that is all bunched up because of his boots. This has been painted in a light brown, and then you have that dark wash over the top, which again really accents those creases. It makes it look like they're tatty and worn. And this again carries on down to the boots, which are also very well done. Again, very nice sculpt. You've got all the laces. You can see the paint apps again with the dark wash. Helps to accent all of those creases and the finer details of the sculpt. And then the base of his boots have been painted with a dark brown to accent the soles. In terms of accessories, he does come with a few. So we have his trusty sonic screwdriver. This is a different sculpt compared to the one that we saw with the other 8th Doctor figure. This time they've actually painted the emitter red, something which they didn't do on the previous version, so it's nice to see that. And we also have the gold band around the base section painted as well. So that's very nicely detailed and has been very well sculpted, and that's just made out of a soft plastic. It is a bit tough trying to get it into the figure's hands because his hands are quite solid, but it is possible. He comes with the chalice from the Sisterhood of Khan, which of course turns him into John Hurt. It is hollow on the inside like a real cup, and you can see there are some nice details, and this has just been painted in like a gunmetal silver. His final accessory comes in the shape of this bandolier, which he takes off of Cass's dead body. When you get the figure, this is packaged with him. When you get the figure, this is packaged with him wearing it, which is strange because the 8th Doctor doesn't actually ever put it on, but he does put it on when he regenerates into John Hurt, and that just hangs over the top of his body. It's not something that I'll be displaying with him, but if you want to display him like that, you can do so. So it is a really nice touch. What would have been great is if we had a young John Hurt head. That would have made even more sense to have this with it. So if we compare him to the other 8th Doctor figures, so starting with the TV movie 8th Doctor, as you can see, he is taller than the standard 8th Doctor, and it just goes to show how his costume evolved from the TV movie into this, and it does seem like quite a nice segue between the two. You can really see the influences of the TV movie costume in this new outfit. One thing that is nice to point out is that this time round, they actually got the 8th Doctor's hair colour correct. It's nowhere near as dark as the TV movie version, and it looks a lot better for it. And finally, just to compare, here he is alongside my Dark Eyes 8th Doctor custom, which now sports the head which came with the War Doctor. I think the 8th Doctor head which came with the War Doctor is better simply because the paint applications are better, and you can really see the finer details of the sculpt, and it looks more like Paul McGann. And just in case you're interested, here are the different heads on the Night of the Doctor 8th Doctor body. You can pull the head off. It is a bit tricky, but it is possible. Probably not something you'd want to do too much, but here he is with these different heads. So there we go, guys. This is the final figure in the collector's range so far. It's been a really nice renaissance to the 5-inch line. We've had different 12th Doctors, we've had Missy, we've had Clara, we've had the Curator, and then just to top it all off, we now have the 8th Doctor from the Night of the Doctor, a figure that people have been requesting ever since that episode aired back in 2013. So it's fantastic to see this version of the 8th Doctor up on the shelves, and it really is a stunning figure. So, thanks for watching this review, guys, and I shall see you next time for my review of the 12th Doctor's Flight Control TARDIS.